what we have seen, well, one of the things, firstly, I would say we need to look at the culture. The culture, one, and the ethnic composition. And the two dominant ethnic compositions you have is the East Indians and the Africans. Okay? Now, if we are looking at from an African perspective, the way they eat, you will see a lot of starch, a lot of rice. They may have some provision and meat. And I use the word meat broadly because it could either be fish, it could not fish, it could either be chicken or pork or beef or some goat or something like that. So that is what you tend to see more or less. So you're basically seeing two items coming from two separate food groups there. On the East Indian end, you see, well, it has been changing over the years, but traditionally they were more into the vegetables. However, the vegetables were fried, and they use more flour, wheat flour, because they would make the sada roti, to go along with it, or they will use a little rice. Okay. With the changes, influence, television, American, influence with the diets and so on, you are seeing a change across our society where people are just eating. They are eating differently, but generally it's a lot of high fat, high sodium, and too many seasonings, because I think the more seasoning they add, there's that feeling that it tastes better, but to me you lose the true flavor of the food. So I would say that going back to the food group, which is the base, you are seeing more or less about 3 food groups being utilized on a daily basis as compared to the 5, right? With the fats and oil being the most predominant, because there's a lot of frying and stewing as compared to the baking and roasting or things like that. Women continue to play a very important role with regard to the household, and being that the person who is there to ensure that the family would have a meal, on a daily basis, whether it is 2 or 3 meals or so. But I think while that would have been in the majority years ago, and I think it still applies in the rural and country areas of Trinidad, what I'm seeing in some of the urban areas, because the women are outside of the home now and they are working, I think what is being substituted for a meal is of great concern for the family, because it is like on the way from home you pick up a snack box of something along the way, and so they are still, that role is still there, they are still doing what is required, but there are changes with regard to how it was done years ago. Okay, but generally the woman is really still at the fore. You are now seeing a lot of men coming forward now and really managing homes, because it's either they are in relationships whereby probably there would have been a divorce or separation, and they probably are there with the child. And then you're finding there are a lot of men who just enjoy cooking, right? And they will tell tell their friends or the wife, well, I will do the cooking. So that I think if we have to compare it across the board, I would say the woman still has play that dominant role, but you're seeing changes with regard to the gender.